everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And we've brought you a show all about the occult.
We're talking different lores and mythology.
Yes, creature features, cryptids, aliens, you name it, we'll cover it.
Conspiracy theories.
Absolutely.
And pagan holidays and
100%.
practices.
All 8 of them. Yes.
Spiritual living, you name it.
That's right. We've got it for you. So if you want, come sit with us for a spell and let us make you laugh.
We are Witches Talking Tarot.
Thanks, everybody.
Please be advised deals with some heavy topics and subjects, such as mental health, suicide, sexual assault, and more. Please listen at your own discretion and please seek professional help if you are struggling. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the Sweet and Sour Nuggiez podcast. Going to do something slightly different this week. I know I usually come to you with how I'm feeling and an anecdote or a situation or something that's affected me within the week. And believe me, I have stories to tell still, don't worry. But I thought we should do something a little less bleak, a little less dark. And I want to kind of do this every so often where I come to you with maybe different ways to handle your stress or anxiety or whatever you're going through with your emotions. Not everything works for everyone, which is why I sort of want to dabble in different ideas. But this week, as per the episode name, this week's about meditation because I have dabbled in it multiple times throughout my life in different ways, and I just thought I would come to you with what I've tried, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, might give you some new ideas on adding it to your routine, who knows. So with that being said, I should probably start at the beginning. My first introduction to any kind of meditation wasn't really a meditation, it was more of a physical exercise, but it got brought into it, was back in the, I was born 93, so it would have been back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Here in Australia, we had what we called Oz-style aerobics. If you're Australian, you know what I'm talking about. Which was a show, I think it ran at like 6 a.m., maybe 5 a.m. every day. And if you know me, I'm an early riser. Like on average, I'm awake between 4 and 5 in the morning. It's just been a habit my whole life. So as a kid before school, I would get up and, it's nothing on TV that early. You'd put on whatever you can find, might be doing something in the background. And for me, it was Old-style aerobics, which is essentially just one of those old school aerobics shows. So, you'd have, say, 5 or 6 girls, sometimes just 2, sometimes in a studio, sometimes in front of, I think they usually shot it in Sydney, of wearing, the leotard outfit, like the whole shebang, doing different aerobics. And part of the show was also, it wasn't quite an intense meditation, but it was breathing techniques. And that was sort of my first introduction as a kid to any sort of aerobic breathing technique, meditation, any sort of thing in that regard. And for me, being as young as I was, I didn't understand exactly the purpose or why someone would do these sorts of techniques. I mean, we all had stress when we were young, don't get me wrong, but you don't really understand it, or anxiety, and you don't really know what it is. So to me, I just sort of laughed at it. Mind you, I'd laugh at that and yet do the fucking aerobics. Like, I'd push the table out of the way and I would get the fucking room set up and I would be following these ladies like my life depended on it. So I'd do that, and then the breathing would come, and I'd sit there and just be like, what the fuck is this shit? But it was still an eye-opener in relation to people did this. So I was aware that people did these breathing techniques. And this, I didn't know it was called any sort of meditation or part of that bubble, but I knew it existed. Fast forward just a little bit in year 6. So if you don't know, in Australia, we don't have middle school or anything like that. It's primary school, secondary, or primary school, high school, that's it. So primary school is prep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which usually ends, I think, when you're 12, and then 13 to 18 is high school, which is years 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And part of that, not all schools do this, but my school that I went to, at the end of year 6, you would have a year 6 graduation. And our graduation was like the full shebang. It was like dancing, food, awards, and then the dancing was also like ballroom type dancing, so us kids had to like learn, and we'd switch partners but anyway, that's beside the point. In the lead up to our graduation, the teachers thought it was a good idea for us to de-stress, stop worrying about, changing schools and the big change that's coming and graduation and whatnot. And they're like, you guys should all do some kind of yoga or some kind of meditation. Now, us being 12, we had no fucking idea what was going on. We're like, what the hell is this shit? We don't care. Just, let us go do what we need to do. Anyway, they split us up into classes, sort of like our everyday class, but a few more extra kids in each. And we all got to do a different thing. My group did color breathing, I think is what they called it. I could be wrong, but for whatever reason, that's what's sticking in my mind. And what it was is you'd lay on your back, completely flat, arms and legs against the ground, and the instructor would walk around and be like, okay, close your eyes. Imagine a color. And she would say a color, and then you'd have to imagine like a dot of that color going through your body. So you would lay there and you would be like, okay, imagine the color red. Imagine the color red going up through your chest, going up through your brain, coming back down, exhaling out through your mouth, back in through your nose. Imagine it going down through your bloodstream. Follow the dot. Follow it through your arms. Follow it through your hands. Come back up. Follow it through your legs. Get it all the way down to your feet. Wiggle your toes. Bring it back up. Follow it going back up your body. And exhale again. And it would be like that over and over and over with different colours, but the different colours would be different things. So like how I said the bloodstream then was red, the next thing would be like, I don't know, imagine this colour was a bit of food and you would let it go down into your stomach, and it was really weird. Like I've heard of imagining colours before, but some of the stuff that this woman said, I don't know if she just did it because we were kids and she was trying to keep us entertained, which didn't work. We all thought it was fucking stupid. We just wanted to go. Or if this was like the legit thing of what she did. And once again, I don't know if it's called color therapy. I don't know if it's color breathing. Just for whatever reason, color breathing is stuck in my brain as to what it was. So that was my first real proper introduction to any kind of meditation. And as I said, being 12, around your friends, nearly at the end of school, you don't give a fuck. It was all just giggles. It just seemed stupid. So you didn't really take it in. Fast forward a little bit. We're middle of high school. So I got kicked out of home in year 9. Started a new school year 10. So it would have been year 10 that I started doing this. So Aerobics Oz Style kept going for years, like years and years and years. And what I would actually do is, I always found doing it calmed me down in the mornings. But I still needed, it wasn't enough. And so obviously being a bit older, you know, I'm in my teens, I'm like 15, 16 at this point. I'm like, you know what, I have friends that do meditation. I have friends that do certain breathing techniques. Maybe I'll give it a go. So then I started doing meditation before the aerobics. So I'd get up early. I'd sit there, legs are crossed. Dark room. I didn't even have the TV on at this point, so it was like pitch black at 4 a.m. And I just sat. And I just sat in pure silence. Everyone else was in bed. I didn't have to worry about anything. It was just me and my surroundings. Always against a wall, because I think I've said this in the past. I've permanently damaged my back. I can't sit cross-legged without leaning against something. So I would be against a wall, pitch black, eyes closed anyway, and I just breathe. And it started off as just me listening to my own breathing. It wasn't specific techniques. It was just standard inhale, exhale. And I just felt it. And I'd feel the breath. I'd feel the air going in, going through me, exhaling out again. And it was amazing how much this would calm me down first thing in the morning. I wake up a very anxious person. So I always thought it was really interesting that something as simple as just listening to my own breathing helped as much as it did. Which then eventually developed into more and more and more. So that then turned into, the breathing then turned into actual exercises, which was like purposefully hyperventilating, which is sort of like a short, fast breaths. So it would start with, standard inhale, exhale, and then it'd be like, sort of thing. And it'd be every so often, and it would just help me calm. And then I sort of started integrating that into my school and my work, because I would get so overwhelmed that I wouldn't know how to handle it. And so I would sit there, and rather than, like when you see on TV in the shows and they hyperventilate into a paper bag, it was sort of like that. And I would just stop, and I would just breathe, short, fast breaths, calm myself down, and I'd find myself eventually being okay. Now, it eventually got to the point where I just stopped doing this. I don't know why I ever stopped doing it. I just stopped. Obviously I kept breathing. I'm still here. But I stopped doing the breathing exercises, and I noticed later down the track that that's what was missing in my life. Is I tried the herbal medications. I tried over-the-counter medications. I tried antidepressants. I've tried everything you can think of. I've tried, and nothing helped. Until eventually I got to the point where I was like, I stopped meditating. But then I realized I stopped meditating because it's almost like I found it boring. I didn't have the motivation to do it. I knew it helped, and that should have been motivation enough, but it wasn't. And then that's when I started watching YouTube more, and that's when I came across ASMR. Now, for those of you who don't know, ASMR is Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, which are those videos that you see going around, especially on TikTok now as well, where they whisper and you hear the noises. And it's really heightened. And they just talk like this for about 30 minutes. And making noises like that. And it's very quiet, but the noises are still very heightened, causing tingles and sensations throughout your body. And it was be videos like that. And I always thought that was stupid. The times that I heard about it and heard what it was, I was like, this is stupid, this isn't going to do anything for me. Then I actually started listening to them properly and noticed that they were actually making me sleepy. And not because I was bored, which is what I originally thought it was, but I noticed that I was getting the tingles, I was getting the sensations that these videos were aimed to do. So then I actually started listening to them as I went to sleep. You know, I would get all comfortable in bed, I would get under the covers, lay there, put my headphones in, and just listen. And it would help. I would calm down. I'd get really comfortable. I'd feel really safe, which was an unusual feeling. I didn't think I would get that from it. But I would lay there and just listen to all these noises. And they would just create these incredible tingles that just helped me feel in such comfort. And I'd eventually fall asleep. But what I found is that I was having a deeper sleep when I would listen to it, which is really rare for me. I wake up very, very easily. Usually the slightest noise, slightest movement, lights, whatever, I wake up. And usually once I'm awake, that's it. I can't get back to sleep. So the fact that I was able to get a deeper sleep and a longer sleep just from listening to these videos was incredible to me. So then I started incorporating that daily. But then it got to the point where, okay, I'm watching these at night, but what do I do to help me throughout the day? Because I'm still getting my anxiety attacks. I'm still getting panic attacks. I'm feeling on edge. I'm feeling claustrophobic. I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling high stress. I'm feeling angry. I need something to help calm me down in these moments. And I was at a loss. I didn't know what I wanted or what I could do or what could help me in a situation like that. Until I came across lo-fi music. Oh my God. So I only came across lo-fi music in probably the past year or two. It would have been during lockdown that I first came across it. And at first, I just enjoyed the music in general. I enjoy that style of music regardless. But I never thought of it as a relaxation device or something that can help me calm myself down. Until one day I was laying on my bed and I had my headphones in. But I don't know if this makes a difference, if it's supposed to make a difference. I don't see why it would, but it felt like it did for me. But the over-the-ear headphones versus the earbuds, for me, when listening to lo-fi, makes a difference. There's something about the over-the-head headphones that just creates this barrier and this sound for me where I feel like it's just me in a room surrounded by the sound and nothing else, where the earbuds sort of drown me. I don't know if this is making any sense. It's the only way I can describe it, but it's too much. So I started doing that. I'd lay on my bed. I'd have the over-the-head headphones on. I'd have a lo-fi track on. And I would just get lost in this music. And I noticed that when I'm in this sort of state of mind, I am calm, I'm collected, I feel relaxed, I feel safe, everything around me doesn't exist. So then I sort of started incorporating this in my daily life rather than just randomly now and then laying on the bed. So I tried it at work. I was at work, I had a high intensity situation. I felt myself starting to have a bit of a panic attack. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why, because the situation that I'm not going to get into, but the situation that happened shouldn't have caused me to react the way I did. So I don't know if there was other stuff going on in the background I didn't pick up on. I don't know. But I tried this technique. I walked away from the situation. I calmed myself down as much as I could. I sat down. I put the headphones on. closed my eyes, deep breath, and let the lo-fi music play. And holy shit, the difference this made. Something about lo-fi music just really hits me. I thought the ASMR was the best thing for me. I thought the meditating was the best thing. Nope. Lo-fi music does the trick. And I'm telling you now, if you've tried or you think you've tried everything and nothing works, but you haven't tried lo-fi, please try it, because there's so many different types of lo-fi music out there that I feel like there's something for everyone. I feel like regardless, you will find something for you that will help. And it is the most amazing feeling when you find the type of music and the type of lo-fi that you want, because it makes such a world of difference. Like, holy cow. So I've now made that my go-to. I still do it now. I listen to it every now and then. Even just casually, I listen to it. So it's funny to me how I've gone from something as silly as just little, well, it's not silly, but breathing techniques from when I was a kid. That's now progressed over time from breathing techniques to meditation to trying that color thing with school to ASMR. And now 2 weeks from being 30, I feel like I've found my thing. I found my niche. I found something that I can call mine because it helps me. You know, it helps me get through so much. I've had arguments with people. It's helped me get through. I've had stressful work situations. I've had personal situations. And I found lo-fi so far. Sometimes with ASMR sprinkled in when I'm going to sleep. But primarily ASMR seems to be... primarily lo-fi music seems to be the thing for me. It seems to be the thing I click with, the thing I go to, the thing that helps me sleep, the thing that helps me essentially live. You know, I used to live on eggshells. I was so high-strung. The smallest thing would make me cry, and I would cry long, and I would cry for ages, and it would be a really deep, really full-on cry. And something as simple as just finding the right lo-fi music, 5 to 10 minutes a day to yourself, away from everyone, it makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference. And I am no way, shape or form dismissing other types that I've already mentioned or stuff I haven't mentioned. If that works for you, by all means, go for it. Use it. Use what works for you. But for me personally, I couldn't connect with the other ways. I found lo-fi was for me, and that's what I'm going to stick with. Now, in saying that, I'm still open to other types and other ways and other meditations and other options and breathing techniques and all of that fun stuff. So if you've got something you want to say, or you want to pass on a technique or another way of dealing with stress, by all means share it. I'm happy to share it in the next episode if you want me to. DM me. All the socials are at SS Nuggiez Pod. That's SSNUGGIEZ Pod. DM me, flick me an email. Everything's there. The link tree is under the same name as well. Find a link. Let me know. Because that's what I want this to be. This podcast started off as a way for me to vent. And I'm sitting here today with almost 1,000 downloads, which is mind-blowing. Thank you so much. And, God knows how many followers on socials, and you guys have been nothing but supportive, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. But I want us to be our own little community. I want us to be each other's support. And I mean actual support, not the bullshit support that's been going on online that I'm not going to talk about. Yes, it is still happening. If you know from my previous episodes, you know. But put that aside. I want us. I want our little community. I want the Nuggiez community. I want the Nuggiez people to be uplifting for each other. So if you have, other ways, if you have other ideas, let me know and I will share them. And another thing I've been thinking of, which let me know in one way or another, is whether I should maybe have a Discord for this podcast and we can share the mental health stories and the struggles and be each other's support and share ideas and all of that fun stuff so we can keep each other in the loop and make sure we're all okay. So if you would like that, or if that's something you think I should do, let me know. Once again, all through the socials at SS Nuggiez Pod. Let me know, reach out, and we'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, that is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful, fantastic day, and you'll hear from me again in 2 weeks. Bye, guys. Hi, like what you heard? Need a bit more Nuggiez in your life? Then come follow us on all our socials. That's at SSNUGGIEZ pod on all socials. Linktree is linktr.ee/SS Nuggiez pod as well. Come listen to us on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, Good Pods and more. Come on over, we always need an extra hug. Listener discretion is advised. This is not for the faint of heart. We deal with all topics, so just be aware. But come on over. You're always welcome.